I am so excited. I have the new Pillow Talk Matte Beauty Blush wand with me. I got two colors, the two lightest shades. I got Pink Pop and I got Peach Pop, and I cannot wait to put these on my cheeks today. So in today's video, of course, we will not only be trying both of the shades, and I'll be giving you my first initial thoughts on the new formula for Charlotte Tilbury, but I also want to do quite a few different comparisons with other liquid blushes I have in my collection and see how these compare. So if you are excited for today's video, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up. And let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, I already did my eyebrows, I did my base, and I also used the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand to contour my face a little bit. I want to give you a little update on this KVD foundation because I felt like my initial first impressions video on this one was a roller coaster of emotions. So today I applied it just using a sponge. I ditched the brush because the brush for this foundation does not work, and when I tell you, with the sponge alone, it looks so much better. I've been wearing it now for like an hour, and you can see that things are looking pretty normal. When I first put it on, even with the sponge, I will say the first 30 minutes or so of me having the foundation on, it looks like a very matte foundation, but it's not giving me texture and my face doesn't look crumbly or anything like that. And if it wears today the same way that it wore the first time I wore it, this foundation on my dry skin only gets better with time. So like I said at the end of that video, even though at the beginning of the video I wasn't liking it, by the end of it I was a fan of it. And I can confirm today, having used it the right way with a sponge on both sides of my face, that this is actually a really nice foundation. So let's get on to what you're here for, which is the new Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Matte Beauty Blushes. These retail for $42 each, which is definitely a price increase. When I first started working for the Charlotte Tilbury counter 2.5 years ago or so, the Charlotte Tilbury ones, meaning the highlighters and the contour ones, retailed for $38, and that price was raised to $40 a few months ago, and now these new blushes are $42, so whew, inflation, right? Anyways, the main reason I'm very excited about these is because I prefer natural looking or matte looking blushes, and Charlotte is the queen of glow, so all of the blushes she's given us so far are more on the luminous side rather than matte. Besides that, the Glowgasm Beauty Wand from Charlotte in the shade Pinkgasm, a lot of people use as a very luminous blush, and I cannot use it like that because even though it is a beautiful color, it makes every pore on my face look visible. And so I feel like this right here is exactly what we needed from the Charlotte line, and so I am pretty pumped to use them. Take a closer look right here at the packaging. It's basically the same packaging from her contouring wand, except it comes in different shades depending on the blush shade that you got. And I went for the two lightest colors because I like my super pale blushes that look very natural. So here is the swatch of the first one. This is the shade Pink Pop right here. I'm pleasantly surprised at the fact that because it is a liquid, I don't think that they're going to be fully matte. I feel like there's going to be more of a natural finish to them, which I absolutely love because I am on the dry side, you know? So this is the Pink Pop one, and as you can see, very, very faint, by the way. But as you can see, it has a glow to it, and it looks very natural, like it just melted right into my skin. So let me go ahead and swatch the other one I got and blend it down a bit. So this one here is the Peach Pop shade, which as you can see is a much more orangey color, and it has that really stunning natural finish to it. I think I'm going to actually really like both of these. The lightest one might be best for my complexion and lighter complexions because I don't know that this is going to show up much on anyone with a medium complexion even. But anyways, I'm going to start with like a big dot right here, maybe a couple of big dots, and then blend it from here. And to blend it, I'm going to use my A507 brush from BK Beauty, which is a synthetic hair brush, and I'm just going to tap it and blend it. It diffuses really beautifully, and I really love the finish of it. Let me lower the light a bit because I feel like they're a little bright. So this right here is the swatch of the Pink Pop, and I really love the way that looks. It's like a very nice baby pink shade. And so I'm going to try the Peach Pop right over here on the other side. Ooh, I don't know if I applied too much, I'm scared. And I'm going to blend it with the same brush, lifting it up to the end of my eye right here. And take a look right there at what this looks like. A bit more peachy, but I honestly, yeah, you can tell the difference. This one's definitely a lot more blue toned. This one actually looks really natural. I always expect to like the pinkier version of things a little more rather than the peachier version. But in this case, I actually like Peach Pop a lot better than I like Pink Pop. Like I said, I feel like this one would look even better on lighter complexions than me. And I might also kind of feel like that because I have rosacea on my skin, so these types of colors are very reminiscent of my rosacea to me. And this one here looks rosy, but like in a non-rosacea type of way. That is a very me problem though. I feel like a lot of people don't have that same issue. Anyways, I'm going to do a little dot right here to blend it up towards my nose a bit. The same thing on this side. Wow, I actually really love the way that they both look, and I feel like this is meeting my expectations to a T. I expected them to be amazing, and they are amazing. They are very natural, they blend very easily. It's not like the Rare Beauty ones where you need to be scared of how much you're putting on. Don't get me wrong, I love the Rare Beauty ones, but you know, if you do even a smidge more than the one dot with Rare Beauty, you will regret it because they are so pigmented. With these, you can make a mistake or two, you know, you can put a bit too much and it's going to blend away, no problem. The Rare Beauty ones, you have to be very strict with yourself. You're like, that's it, you know? Don't add any more until you blend it out. To finish things up, I'm going to do a little bit more bronzer because I did the contour one from Charlotte, but I feel like I need a bit more bronzer now that the blushes are applied. So I'm going to go in with this palette here, the Nudegasm Face palette, which I love, and my Wayne #1 brush. I'm going to mix these two and just add a bit more color all around the face. On my lips, I'm going to do the Anastasia lip liner in Muted Mauve and the soft pink gloss because I feel like it's going to go so well with both of my blushes. I used a sponge to blend them out on my face, but you can definitely very easily use your fingers as well because they blend like a dream with your fingers. And it looks like once they dry, they're not getting off of your face easily, which is good because they're a liquid blush. And the fact that they don't rub off easily means that they are going to be really nice and long lasting. As far as comparisons go, I don't really have a color to compare the Peach Pop one to because my liquid blush colors that I have just don't have this type of tonality to them. They're more on the pinky or neutral side. But I do have some colors to compare to Pink Pop, and I also want to compare the formulas because I do find that these formulas are different from a lot of the other ones that I have in my collection. I think the first comparison I want to do is Pink Pop, which I'm going to put right here on the back of my hand, with the color Bliss from Rare Beauty because this color I feel like is kind of similar. And I'm just going to do one dot of this one right there. Bliss is a matte formula from Rare Beauty, so it's not going to have as much glow as the Charlotte one for sure. But as you can see, the colors are kind of similar. This right here is Bliss from Rare Beauty, and this one is Pink Pop from Charlotte Tilbury. As you can see, the Charlotte one has a bit more of a glow to it. This one is a truly matte type of blush, and I did quite a few like back and forth little stripes with the Charlotte one to get this level of intensity, whereas with the Bliss one I did one good dot and I got all of that pigmentation, which again is a good and a bad thing because I love the Rare Beauty ones, but you have to be very careful with them because a little bit can go a very long way. This one here is another favorite of mine from Rare Beauty, which is the shade Hope. I'm going to do one dot once again, and I'm going to just blend it out. Hope isn't a matte formula from Rare Beauty, it's more of a natural looking glowy formula for her blushes. So this one is going to have a more similar finish to the Charlotte one, but as you can see, the color is a bit more neutral and also a bit darker. So this one here is the Charlotte Tilbury Pink Pop, and this one here is the Hope shade from Rare Beauty, which I think is going to be similar to the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk one, because I think she has a Pillow Talk shade in these, and I just didn't grab it because I thought it would be too similar, so I went for the ones that were more different for my collection. But maybe I need to pick it up in the future, I don't know. I also wanted to show you a comparison to Southbound from Laura Mercier, which I've talked about a lot. How can I do that? Let's do a little stripe right there. And the Laura Mercier one is a bit more forgiving when it comes to the formula and the blendability. You don't have to stress out about this one like with Rare, because it's going to blend even if you do have a bit of excess product in there. So this is Southbound right here from Laura Mercier, which is another one of my favorite liquid blushes. Lastly, let's compare it to this new one that I got recently. This is from M Cosmetics and the shade is Rose Milk, and this has a little dropper, so I'm going to do a little drop in there and I'm going to blend that out. Oh wow, that's pigmented. Okay, so this M1 also very pigmented, not as forgiving as the Laura Mercier one, and also it is a darker shade. The next difference is that the M Cosmetics one is a bit glowier than the rest of the ones that I have applied. So here is kind of my final conclusion when it comes to all of these liquid blushes that I have in my collection. While I really love the M Cosmetics one and the Laura Mercier one, I don't tend to prefer this type of packaging over the packaging of Rare Beauty and Charlotte Tilbury, because you have to squeeze it out or get a drop out, and as you can see, it can be a little bit tricky to get the right amount of product that you want for your cheek, which can cause a bit of frustration, if you will. And then we have the Rare Beauty ones, which I much prefer the method of application, because you can just do one dot on each side and blend that out, and that tends to be the magic number, just one little dot. But they are so pigmented that even using just the one dot method, you might overdo it sometimes, because you have to not just open and do the one dot, but you gotta like clean the little wand and make sure that you're not putting too much. These can also be a little tricky just because they are so pigmented. The upside to these though is that you will have them for a lifetime, because you use so little product and they give so much that you'll never run out of them. Plus they are very blendable and they look beautiful as well. And then when it comes to the new Charlotte ones, the downside is that I know a lot of people hate the little sponge applicators because they're not the most hygienic. And if you're a makeup artist and you're going to use these on clients, I get it. Please don't put the same sponge on everyone. But if you are getting it for yourself for personal use, I will say that this applicator is definitely the easiest to use. And this formula from Charlotte is really nice and also very forgiving. One thing that I always love about all Charlotte Tilbury products is that she makes them very easy to use. So you can do 1, 2, 3, or 4 dots with this one. It's going to blend out very easily. You can always add a little bit or take away a little bit, and with these it's not going to give you clown face right away. The formula seems to be really nice and forgiving in that way. And then the little sponge applicators also help you not to put an excess of product on your face. As far as a comparison of like ounces versus the price, I'm not even going to get into that territory, because the Rare Beauty ones, for example, have 0.25 fluid ounces, but you need so little of these that they'll last you forever. And then in comparison, these Charlotte ones have 0.4 fluid ounces, but you might end up using a bit more product. So I don't feel like it's worth comparing pricing versus fluid ounces in this case, because the formulas are so different from one another. In conclusion, and by the way, I know that I'm ending this video and I don't even have my eyes done, but my Pat McGrath order is getting delivered later, so I'm not going to touch my eyes for this video. In conclusion, as I was saying, I absolutely love the formula of these Pillow Talk matte blushes from Charlotte Tilbury. I feel like they give a really beautiful amount of pigmentation. I feel like they blend like a dream. They are very easy to use because they're not overly shimmery like the Pinkasm, for example, which I forgot to compare it to that one. Here's Pinkasm in comparison. Because they're not overly shimmery like the Pinkasm blush, which you can see the shimmer right there, they don't enhance any texture on my face. They don't enhance my pores. Everything looks really nice and smooth. And I love that the formula of these liquid blushes blends so seamlessly into your skin. 10 out of 10 for me. I really love these, so much so that I might get another color later on because I see myself getting a ton of use out of these new blushes from Charlotte. So if you are interested in these and you were waiting for my stamp of approval, definitely check them out. I feel like you guys are really going to love them. And if you are getting them, please get them using the link I'm leaving you down below in the description box of this video. When you use my links, you help my channel, which is very much appreciated. Anyways, I really hope that you guys like this video. Stop looking at my weird makeup. I know I'm missing eyeshadow, but it's coming later today. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye.